what do you think is the most interesting thing people do not know about Deepinder Goyal?
When I joined his board, and I had actually forgotten about it because it was some time ago, we were grappling with a wrong decision that he had made. And apparently I spoke out at length about how, when you're taking a big decision, you should look at not just the facts of the case, but the emotional state you're in. Because whether it's fear, whether it's ego, whether it's conviction, high conviction, whatever it is that's behind that, that will actually shape and to a large degree influence the decision that you're going to make. So it's not the facts on the table, but your emotion which is guiding and making you do that, right? So chances of that decision being rational may or may not be that high. And basis that he said, after that I started watching the decisions that I make, and I have kind of, he gave the estimate of almost 20% of the decisions which he would have otherwise made, he hasn't made because he thinks that the emotion behind that may actually drive the decision rather than the facts of the table.
Do you think that what happened to Nokia or what happened with Boeing could have been avoided? Nokia people, the senior leadership saw the coming of the iPhone. Engineers inside Boeing had mentioned about before the tragedy, Boeing 737 MAX engine tragedy happened. People had talked about it, mentioned about it. If this pre-mortem or things like these or dissent would have been legitimized or institutionalized, could we have seen a lot of these collapses not happening?
I can say that, creating an environment, as I said, if you can't rewire the brain, you can rewire the environment, right? And an environment where there is what we call, and then this term has been popularized by an academic called Amy Edmondson. It's called psychological safety, where you feel safe to voice problems that are there. Like you pointed out, I think in the airline example that you just mentioned, that people said that this is not there, but
Correct.
They didn't say so because they're yes men, right? They were scared to say it.
Because they were scared that the leadership will not be comfortable to
Exactly.
hearing the truth.
So basically it's hierarchy, right? Which
Correct.
is bearing down upon you, right?
True.
Which is exactly, the example that I was giving in my merger and acquisition situation also. So you either tone down your view or you don't say it at all, and it can lead to disastrous consequences, right? But the whole idea of psychological safety, again, it's two words, very simple to say. If I say as a CEO or as the chair of the board that, look, I want this space to be psychologically safe, it means nothing. These are two words, right? It means creating that environment where people are indeed safe, which means also that I would like to be criticized myself. I would like people to point out my flaws, which means I would turn around and say that, look, I was taking a wrong decision. It's like the Deepinder Goyal example, right? Where he openly can go to the public and say, Sutapa joined the board at a time where we were grappling with a decision that I made wrong. How many people like saying that they are wrong to start with, right? It means you need to be really comfortable in your skin to be able to say you could be wrong, right?
Most people aren't.
Most people aren't, right?